Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Q&A edition of Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1639. I'm your host, Greg Audino. Glad to have you back here today as we reintroduce the question and answer episodes. So for those who have any interest whatsoever in my own advice, you can email me at advice@oldpodcast.com if there is something on your mind that you would like help with and would like turned into an episode, as we will do today. In addition to hosting this show, I've worked as an advice columnist. I've provided a lot of one-on-one coaching and counseling, and had plenty of my own writing on relationships and relationship building published. That's actually how I got involved with the network to begin with. My content was initially being shared on OLD, and it just sort of blossomed into a really great partnership. So, again, should you have questions, I am here to answer them for you, and we will proceed with this one, sent in by one of your fellow listeners. Let's hear what's on her mind as we optimize your life. I've become involved with someone abusive who has recently threatened to kill me. He's also spent the last 4 months working on my car. $1,300. It's still not running, and he's replaced so many parts. I'm unable to earn money as I was working for DoorDash. I can sit here and list all of the things he's done, and still, I'm trauma bonded. I know he's a narcissist. I know I don't matter to him. I know these things. But I'm the one who has lost my income, my car, my sanity nearly. I've even had suicidal thoughts. I'm afraid to reach out to anyone. I'm afraid to be honest with anyone about what's happened. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to admit that it's all my fault. And I've gone back even since he's threatened my life. I'm afraid to go to the hospital because I don't want them to admit me. But the truth is, I am not in control of my emotions or my life. How can I forgive myself for allowing this to happen? He's got everyone convinced that I'm crazy, and I often feel crazy. I feel inept, broken, just worthless from this relationship. I've completely ruined my life by getting involved with him, and yet I keep getting back with him. All right, Asker, I'm really glad you've reached out today, as I don't need to tell you how serious of a situation this is. You already know that. Everyone who's listening now knows that. Now, I find myself a little conflicted as I look to answer your question. As I normally would, I want to talk you through your feelings and help you to find a way back for yourself. But the urgency that's afoot and the concern I have for you is making it difficult for me to just kind of lead with that. So, in the interest of saving even 5 minutes, which again, out of my concern for you somehow feels necessary or helpful, I'll start by saying that I hope you walk or get yourself an Uber to a local hospital or domestic violence shelter. I hope that you stop now and that you do that, and on the way there or once you've arrived, continue listening to the rest of this episode and the reasons why I think you should do that. Maybe nothing changes in the 5 minutes you'll take to otherwise keep listening before taking action. Obviously, it probably won't. But with the volatility you've conveyed your life and relationship is having, who knows what the next 5 minutes will bring. For me personally, it would be past the point of biding time. Probably irrational, but the fact that I'm entertaining such an idea, this is what I'm trying to say, I hope illustrates to you how much I want you to keep this momentum rolling of taking steps forward, because you are. Reaching out to me is a step forward, and that's really significant for at least 2 reasons. Number one, just because you're not in control of many things right now doesn't mean that you can't take steps towards reclaiming control. We can rarely control results and outcomes all by ourselves. That goes for anyone. The amount of X factors that we're all susceptible to on a daily basis is as infinite as infinity could be. That's different, though, from our ability to control how we show up. These waters get muddied when things seem so bleak and so inescapable as they might for you right now. But regardless of how, simple and common a piece of guidance this is, the truth does remain that we can always control how we respond. Though it may be difficult, we always have some path towards the opportunity to get back up and keep on going. And that goes for you too. And you're doing it already, like I said. So keep it up. And number 2, you talk about how you can, how can you ever forgive yourself for allowing this to happen? Well, this is exactly how. Forgiveness and trust is built both between people and within ourselves. And in particularly serious situations, it's not just through apologizing, but by making amends that forgiveness is attained. So taking action that fills the gap and serves as an antithesis of the action that broke trust in the first place. Over time, self-forgiveness will become easier for you the more you take actions to prove to yourself that you still believe in your health and your relationships and your life, and that you want to fight for them. And again, those actions start with you doing what you're doing now. Getting help, making the effort to climb out from underneath this. You've lost a lot because of him. You've been threatened by him. You've gone back to him regardless. That's okay. That's not irredeemable. It's not, it's not the end. You haven't turned your back on yourself. You haven't done wrong by yourself. And believe it or not, you have not betrayed yourself. You've undergone trauma, and it's led you to a difficult place at this moment in time. You're still here, though, and you still have a chance to right the ship. Boiled down, it seems to me like the battle you have in front of you is the battle between your own ego and your own safety. And I hope this idea gives you some clarity. You see opportunities for an escape, but you worry about using these resources because you think you'll be judged by them. Maybe this has happened enough times in your life. I would venture to guess it's happened with the man we're talking about today. But you have to know, the same validation that you want from others, okay, so the validation that you worry so much about not getting that you're too afraid to come out and get yourself some help, that's the same reason that he has control over you. And it's not your fault. And it could take a lot of healing before you can acquire a healthier amount of self-assurance or an ability to set boundaries. A therapist can absolutely help you with that. But the first step and the hardest step is on you. And it's a step that can cascade into so much more awakening. So I implore you to dig deep and choose your safety over your ego this time. Leave now and get the help that you need. It will help you build a foundation that allows you to reclaim your work and your car and everything else that you've lost. But that all has to start with your mental and emotional well-being. And thanks once again for sending in your question, Asker. It really means a lot to me that you've opened up about something so incredibly important, especially given how hard of a time you've had in your worries about feeling judged or not supported. So I hope you leave today not only with some inspiration about moving forward, but also knowing that you were met with nothing but love and compassion today on our end by me, and I'm sure everyone else who is tuned in. So we're all wishing you the best of luck. As I said in the intro, folks, if you have a question of your own that you would like to send in, go ahead and do so by emailing me at advice@oldpodcast.com. Advice@oldpodcast.com. I would be more than happy to help you out. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in today, everyone, and I will see you again tomorrow for more ORD. That's where your optimal life awaits.